do it again anyways.
Sure. But
Seth.
Aaron.
Hey, buddy, I just saw you.
For an extended period of time.
I just saw you in the flesh no more than 3 days ago in Alaska for our 2025 TPM retreat. We're going to recap it today, tell some stories, and give some insight into maybe some things we learned that have made us better photographers, and we're going to share that today. This is the Photographer Mindset Podcast. I'm your co-host, Seth Macy.
I'm your co-host, Aaron Manis.
And as always, if you love these episodes, feel free to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's a cost-free, effective way to support the show. And with that, let's just chat. Let's just chat about our trip. It was awesome. It was incredible. I've learned a lot. I learn things every single time, and I hope to do that for the remainder of time.
Yeah, I'm still winding down. So at this point, what day is it? Wednesday. We got back Sunday after a whirlwind of travel. 4 hours.
I woke up at 9 a.m. Eastern time today. First it was 11, then it was 10, then it was 9.
Yeah.
Trying to get back down to my 8 a.m.
Yeah.
I usually don't do too bad with jet lag, but this time it's kicking my ass.
Yeah, it's shifted. It's shifted this time for sure. The first day it was perfect, and I thought, oh, I got this. But then it kind of caught up. But I'm all right. We're doing good.
And I'm not going to get my after travel sickness that you said before we pressed record, because we've talked about this on the show, how I am go, and I try to fit as much stuff as humanly possible into a trip. Especially, I feel like the further the distance is, Alaska is not close to the East Coast. That's a long flight.
Yeah.
Of course, there's longer flights, but still, I find that this was a mission to get to. So you better cram it full of exciting photography adventures and opportunities, which I think we did this time, but I was trying to be conscious of that the whole trip, because it's I don't know, would you classify that as a problem? But I think it just puts maybe unnecessary stress on my body and mind. And I was trying to take moments to tell myself, hey, it's okay to relax for an hour or two here, man.
Yeah. I think with our first trip there's so much daylight, it can get away from you very fast. We did a whole day and we have 4 more hours to do 4 more hours of hikes or photography or sightseeing or whatever it may be. And day after day of that, of literal 20-hour days of light, you can burn out fast. And I think we did a good job this time of having some rest time built in and taking our moments. We had a really nice rain day in the middle of the week. The rest of the weather was absolutely perfect. But that rain day, I think, kind of revitalized us physically. Emotionally, that was a tough one. We'll get into that, what happened on that day. But it was a challenge getting through all of the amounts of things you can do with that kind of daylight and trying to hold back. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, a couple times I think I was just trying to have some reflective moments and asking myself why, because often I was better this time. Often I will indirectly have the kind of thoughts that feel like no matter how many cool things we're doing in a day or that I'm doing in a day on any trip, it's almost not enough. You could be out there, you could be doing more, you could be doing more. And I guess that's kind of that's unnecessary suffering to a degree. So I was better at this time just trying to deliberately say, if you went home today, this is enough. You got great shots. You got a great clip. I think it was when Mark Raycroft was on, because he's been to Alaska, 20 times? I can't remember what he said. And something he said that I kind of kept in my mind was that if I have one great photo or one great shot, that's enough. And so I was trying to kind of have that as my mantra. So today was enough, or that shot was enough. And that helped me really relax when it was important to relax.
Yeah. Also, I think I was proud of both of us in a sense at times. And again, we'll get into, I think, the day to day, what happened and what went through. But we're on the boat and we're looking at orcas. And last year we saw orcas. And I noticed at one point this sort of outer body experience where we're sitting there looking at orcas coming up and breaching and doing orca kinds of things. There's pods of 5s, 3s. There's a big one out in the distance, and we're just watching. And neither of us were shooting.
That. You and I were looking at each other like, I remember that. You and I looked at each other and we're like, both saw our cameras were down. It was cool.
Yeah.
That's
and neat. we were just enjoying it, not going crazy, trying to get every shot this time.
Didn't that feel good?
Yeah. Came away with a lot of good shots, but I felt like my percentage of good shots to ones that I'm going to not use or delete or repetitive ones was much better this year than years previous, where you're kind of just like blown away and shooting everything. It was nice to be there a second time and kind of just take it in.
That's the benefit of going to a place twice. I think we did an episode a few months ago about revisiting locations. I think you and I in the orca moment, we're like, hey, we already have 100 dorsal fin shots. I don't need more that are never going to see the light of day. It's almost this instinctual feeling that something incredible is happening before your eyes. I need to lift the camera up. Yeah. And it was nice to take a step back, notice that you don't have to do that, and you can kind of just enjoy, in this example, orcas doing orca stuff, and enjoy that moment entirely. I'm not saying you can't behind your camera, but it's a different way of enjoying it.
Yeah, I think you can multitask thoughts in a juggling sort of way. This, then that, then this, then that, then this, then that, and kind of bounce around. I don't think it's easy to multitask at the same exact time. And where I'm getting at is when you're trying to take a photo on a boat of a whale in a split second breaching, you're working for that photo. You're working for focus. You're working to try to get it. You're taking multiple shots because you're catching waves. You're catching the landscape behind. It's difficult.
Fighting seasickness.
All those things. You are working for the photo. What you can't think during those times is, I'm floating on a boat in the middle of Alaska in the ocean, and there's a pod of orcas right in front of me.
Yeah. You can't get your full attention to that moment.
And like
trade-off, right?
Yeah. And like breathe and sit in that moment for a long time versus trying to get the photo. And get the photo, that's fun too in its own right. But it was nice to be able to sit there. And like you said, there is something to already having a photo, or already having like, I don't think I have an A+ orca photo at this point at all, but I do have some Bs and from last year. And if the photo presented in front of me is let's call it like lesser than a B, it's an average photo. They're further away. I'm not going to get something great. The background's not, whatever it is. Yeah. You can sort of decide, look, I don't need to chase these photos that, like you said, because of previous opportunities, I'm not going to print this out over those ones. I'm not going to try to sell this over those ones. Like, I can wait. I can be patient and enjoy this and wait. And if there's an opportunity, then I can grab it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's something I was thinking of as well, is this image I'm about to take going to be an 8 out of 10 in terms of my perceived quality, or less than? And I tried to not click the shutter if it was going to be lower than 8. Obviously, that's difficult to tell all the time, because sometimes you point your camera in a direction and click it almost as a type of reconnaissance effort, and it's incredible, but it doesn't look like it to the eyes.
Yeah.
Have you ever found that, where you're just in the forest and you're like, oh my God, that's incredible? And vice versa. Something looks great with your eyes and you take a picture and it just kind of falls flat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I agree. And with that, the 8 out of 10, like, is this photo worth taking myself out of the gratitude, moment, if you will, the moment, if you will? Like, is that worth that? And to be able to separate that I think a lot more on this trip was really cool for me.
Yeah, I hear you. And you know what was really helpful? You're probably sick of me talking about my damn binoculars at this point, but it was so nice to bring binoculars. I've never brought binoculars on a trip, and it was a great tool to substitute a camera out for. For example, when we were in the glacier and saw a black bear swimming, it would have been very easy to go through the thought process of, this is a remarkable moment. This is very unique. The bear's kind of far away, but let's see what I can get with my camera. These photos may pan out. Probably not, but they may pan out. And it was nice to be able to just reach for something that provided great optics, but that wasn't going to capture the moment digitally and just get to observe it. And I found myself multiple times throughout this trip reaching for those. And it was almost like a crutch between what you're talking about, enjoying the moment and capturing it digitally. And I got to kind of enjoy a high quality moment with great scopes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that makes sense. That's a nice middle ground right there.
Yeah. So bring binoculars, I guess is what I'm saying.
My favorite part with the binoculars was at the airport.
Yeah, that was sweet. I hope we have footage somewhere of that. Aaron and I at the end of our trip were just
nerding out like little boys.
Karen was there too. One of our attendees, Karen. We were just waiting for our flight. We were 3 hours early, and we were. The airport is so interesting when you watch it through binoculars. You see all the luggage being loaded, the fuel getting injected into the wings, people, different characters driving different vehicles, because everything looks like ants and very minuscule when you're just watching with your eyes, but it is a
playground.
It is a very cool playground of activity when you're watching through binoculars.
Yeah.
We just didn't want any people coming up to us thinking we were being bad actors. I mean, we were just a couple of dudes though having fun looking at things going on in the airport.
Comments like, look at the size of that tire. That's as big as that guy.
Like, I was actually doing recon on your plane because
nerding out
flyer, and I was helping you out. Oh, Aaron, tires look like they're really inflated, buddy.
Yeah, looks good.
Oh, I can see the pilot. He's got flip up sunglasses. You know, you got a good captain. Don't worry.
Stud. Yeah, I think I've graduated from being a nervous flyer. I was absolutely fine. Just being fine.
Okay.
I didn't want to say anything during the show, but knock on wood, people on our trip had some delays, some cancellations. Everyone got there. It was fine. But I'm going to ruin this, but my last 15 flights on time, landing early, smooth, no issues whatsoever. And that helps. Yeah. That helps to feel like desensitize any issues with travel. That definitely has helped. Huh?
That's most flights, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. But you hear stories of like, I was stuck in Atlanta for 2 days and this and that. And like, I don't know.
Nobody wants to be stuck in Atlanta for 2 days. Sorry, Atlanta folks.
Nope. But yeah, some smooth travel. I'm getting pretty used to the process. It's more of the...
Yeah, I mean, the world's just not built for you, though. That's the part I feel annoyed about for you. 6'5" in economy?
Yeah, we gotta earn some more money so I can afford the first class. You can still fly economy because it's relative.
Yeah,
right?
You know what? I got a huge bounce though on my way home. The flight attendant looked at me and said, "You come up here."
No way.
I was like, sick. I'm going to first class, baby. This is my day. Because I've heard stories where that happens. And I was like, here we go. I'm moving to the front. And there's the last seat in economy that's open. And I plop down there and I was like, ah. But then I do a second glance and there is infinite legroom because it's where the hallway kind of veers. You know, planes sometimes do that.
Yeah.
So I could stretch out full.
That's
nice.
I
was like, thank you, divine being.
Yeah.
We'll have this happen.
Yeah. Well, emergency rows. I try to find those. I'll be the helper. They give you a lot of legroom.
One day, big boy.
One day. Fake first class.
Yes. The other thing that I have decided on trips moving forward, I think for the most part, obviously there will be outliers or special cases, is 2 lenses.
Hmm.
2 lenses, man. I didn't use a third lens once. I used a 150 to 500 from Tamron, and I used the 16 to 30 millimeter. I had a big gap, obviously, in focal length there, but it forced me to be very selective and extra creative with those lenses, with that focal length restriction.
Yeah. I hear you. I mostly used 2. I had a third for special occasions, which I would then switch on. But my 3 were the Tamron 35 to 150, which
F2.0.
which I really like. Took a lot of good stuff from that. I used my 200 to 600 Sony a bunch, and then I would throw on, if I needed it, in certain scenarios, like if we're doing the cabin shoot or certain landscape stuff on hikes, I brought my, 16 to 24, 14 to 24 Sigma.
Oh, yeah.
That really fish-eyed wide angle lens offers a different look, and it's particular for
what's the aperture on that?
It's a 2.8.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a nice one I like to bring. I am a big proponent of 2 bodies. I feel like that.
Yeah, I wish I did that.
On a trip makes things so much easier. It's more secure in terms of dust or messing up your sensor. To be able to have 2 cameras ready to go, especially I'm going to go to the boat scene. I had both cameras out at my side because we're dealing with big animals, big landscapes, sometimes far away, where a 600 would be useful. But a lot of times I was using the 150, and I wanted to be able to switch without missing stuff because I'm switching.
Yeah.
And then it goes back and forth between far, close. So that really helps in those moments to be able to get it.
Well, especially we had lunge feeding humpback whales, which was incredible. That's something I'll never forget. And I had seen it once before on good friend Slater Moore's boat, which we all know I was unable to shoot or photograph or film because I was so sick. This time I was better. I was not sick. Other than I destroyed Captain Jimmy's bathroom. I had to go.
I was wondering if you're going to even say it.
Of course.
But yeah, you almost
you can help it. Don't poop on in a marine toilet.
Oh my dude was gone for 30 minutes.
I'm in the bathroom and I hear whales lunge feeding when I'm in there going number 2, and I'm like, get out of here, man.
And likewise, the lunge feeding whales heard you in the bathroom going. So it was equal for everyone.
Come on.
Oh no.
Well, we got up so early and I need time in the morning to get things moving along. I know people are listening and relating, and there was no time to do that. And then seasickness was kind of starting, and then I think it moved things along, and I went in there and I was like, this is happening. And then it went down because it's this little dinky marine toilet, and I had to get Captain Jimmy to get it down. He says, I need to put the boat on step, I guess, to power up the pump. Because we were in idle, so it wasn't powerful enough.
No, let's
I'm not embarrassed.
No, it's everyone does it. Let's Tarantino though it a bit. Let's go back to the beginning.
Do we really need to fill an episode with this? What were we talking about prior to this? Can I say what I was saying before?
No. I just want to share, because as me, I'm giggling still thinking about this.
Yeah, you're probably on the outside hearing the and you're like, it's just, buddy, it's not working for you. It's not going down.
Before though, the out loud inner dialogue that I had to go through for about 30 minutes prior was just comical, where I was like, I don't know, man. You got to do what you got to do.
Oh, because I was telling you that I had to go?
And you're like, I don't, but I'm not feeling great with seasickness. I'm going to be in there for a while. There's no porthole. Like, will I be able to see?
Because you're sloshing around too. I can't see anything. It was gnarly.
Is it hot? Should I wait? I have to. And I was like, oh God, like this kid is struggling right now. and then he comes out and he looks at me with like a ghost white face. He's like, I ruined the bathroom. It won't flush. It's ruined.
Well, the problem was like it wouldn't go down, and the water just kept coming out, but the substance wouldn't go down. So I was like, I'm going to overflow this man's toilet, his marine toilet, and it's going to be all over the boat, and then that'll be embarrassing. But I stopped, and that's why I
the trip have to go 2 hours in and just burn the boat.
Yeah, just wreck his bathroom. No, but then he said, he's like, oh yeah, I was the level of relief I had when he's like, it won't go down. Right. Okay, I just got to put it on step. Like this has happened before.
Yeah,
was what he implied, and I was like, yeah. Oh my god, thank God. The best part was, and then we'll get off of this because people are like, are you 10 years old, guys?
Yeah, no, they're dying.
He gets it to go down. So then there's a second wave of relief for me. And then he goes, you know how people have like the spray hoses on their boat? He's like, let me just clean the bowl up a bit.
Oh man.
And then he goes, I said, man, I'm so sorry. I had to go. And he goes, hey man, shit happens.
Just try, Pan.
Captain Jimmy, shout out to you. You're a beauty.
But Seth, you were back. You were back.
And I was back in business. I had, it was great. That would have made me seasick. Having to fight on two fronts.
That's a war no one wants.
In the base, I wouldn't have done it. So I was able to stay at a 3 out of 10. I think I maxed out at a 3 out of 10 on the seasickness scale.
Yeah.
And I was in the thick of it when I was having,
Wow.
So that's that. Don't be embarrassed by that stuff. That happens to everybody. To clarify, there wasn't like shit on the walls. It was just, it wouldn't go down. And I was like, oh God, no one's going to use this bathroom.
It was sanitary. It was just bad timing for you.
Yeah.
Not pleasant. Not what anyone wants. Out of all your experiences, you said it was the worst.
It was the worst bathroom experience I've ever had. Just because of the panic. I'm like, what do I do? Like having to calculate my next move while whales are, and that's a once in a lifetime moment. Luckily, I had been shooting the whales lunge feeding for an hour prior to that. But in my mind, this is funny, right? Because I'm in there. In my mind, there's so many things going through. What do I do? Do I talk to you? Like, do I sort this out on my own? Do I get help from the captain of the boat, which I ended up doing? There's whales. Am I missing great shots? Like, oh, this is so terrible. By the way, you're in a box moving around, sloshing around. You can't see the horizon. You're getting sick. Anyways, I'm here.
Well, welcome to the Photographer Mindset podcast, where we talk about
battling through adversity,
mindset, and battling both fronts sometimes at the same time.
Well, I'm glad if you're still hanging around. We'll get back to some photography. I like that idea though, having two different bodies with two different lenses that cover lots of focal. Because especially with whales, you never know where they're going to pop up, right?
Yeah,
I'm saying it like an expert. I've been there. I've seen lunge feeding whales twice. But it really was a guessing game. It's just, they could be right beside you or they could be 200 yards away. But I do find I found it very interesting, the anticipation, trying to best guess where whales were going to come up by watching other factors like the birds. Oh, the seagulls are all moving. So let's point in this direction with our camera.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was cool to learn that, and there was a learning curve, but you could learn the difference between the seagulls moving and the seagulls starting to tornado and dive bomb the water. And you're like, it's coming up right there. You kind of learning it. But yeah, that was an awesome experience. So,
but to your point too, that entire time was working. There wasn't a ton of, there wasn't a ton of getting to enjoy the moment with your camera down, other than when whales were very far away. It was almost like a relief when there wasn't an opportunity to photograph them at times.
Yeah, Seth and I kind of stationed ourselves, on the back of the boat for most of that part. And then half our group was in the front, Matt and Karen, I believe. I'm not sure if Meg was up there too. And there was a point where it just seemed like right off the front, 12 o'clock, all this action was happening. And again, instead of I mean, there's a small percent of Seth and I being like, ah, damn, like we missed that. What an opportunity. But at the same time, it kind of takes away the pressure of having to shoot and just sort of looking through the captain's window, looking around the side. Like I turned around to check out the group right as a humpback whale completely breached. It must have been 50 yards from in front of the boat.
Yeah.
Completely out of the water and splashed down this enormous splash. And some of the group has some photos of that. I do not, but I saw it. I saw it and I was like, oh, like I've never seen that in my life. And just to even see it and have the mental photo of that is kind of surreal. It's kind of like a dream.
You know what's really interesting about that is where whale activity was going to happen was entirely random, right? Could happen anywhere. So, but I would say that maybe activity was skewed towards the front of the boat where we were not sitting just by sheer chance. And your brain can have the tendency, I had this a couple times and I was like, you're being silly, to think, oh, okay, things are happening at the front. Maybe I should move there. Which would be a form of chasing. We talk about not chasing wildlife. Obviously, this is different because you're in on a boat. But having to kind of remind yourself, hey, this is entirely random. You get what you get. Going to the front of the boat where things have happened in the past does not mean that more things are going to occur there. Right. Almost, right. And having that conversation in a sense that, hey, if you go to the front, I bet you things will start happening at the back because that's just how it would be. So it was almost, it was freeing to stay in position at the back of the boat and just say, hey, I get what I get.
Yeah.
Which was kind of an overarching theme, right? I'm going to get what I get. I'm going to relax. I'm just going to chill out. I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to try and force things. I'm not going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
Whatever I get is enough.
Yeah. And know what's worse than missing a moment in the front is going to the front and then missing a moment in the back because you're chasing the moment in the front.
Exactly.
So it's a small boat where things are happening everywhere. If you were to rate like the coolest moments, maybe they happen off the front of the boat and we were blocked out by the boat to take photos, but there's plenty of stuff that was going on and there's only so many seats. And also we want our group to have a great time.
Better photos if possible.
Yeah. They were in the front. Things were going well. That's a win. That's a win.
It's just interesting to me that we can have the tendency just as humans to think that the past is absolutely reflective of what's going to occur, which it often is, but not in this scenario.
Yeah.
And you know that logically, but it's this feeling, I feel like often there's this underlying urge to, I have to take action.
Yeah.
When often it's inaction is going to potentially give you the same or a better result.
So, I totally agree. I think, that to recap the boat trip, it was Alaska saltwater fly fishing. Captain Jimmy, he does 6 months in Hawaii and 6 months in Alaska. What a life.
Yeah, interesting.
Seems to love it. Loves fishing. We did a little bit of fishing as well. The most efficient fishing I've ever seen in terms of fly fishing. I think there was 3 casts and we caught enough for our dinner. And we ate.
We had to have more than 3 casts because we had 5 fish.
Oh, that's right. I think that was Karen.
4 rockfish and a silver salmon, which we ate, which was delicious.
Yeah, and cooked it up that night. It was awesome. He took us out at 6 a.m. He was awesome in terms of like, hey, we want to get out early. If you guys can get out early, we can beat the tour boats. I know right where they're lunge feeding. We can have the ocean to ourselves essentially, which we did in morning light. It was an incredible moment. He did an awesome job. Might have been the highlight of my trip. I feel like that boat tour in general, in terms of all that we saw, was really pretty cool. Like you said, that black bear was hemming and hawing on this island near a glacier and he needed to cross, I don't know, how many yards was that? 300, 400 yards?
Yeah, 400.
just a 20-minute swim straight to a sheer cliff and just kept going. And like, again, appreciation for animals and their strength and endurance. Like a 400-meter swim and then straight up
400 yards.
400 yards. Yeah. Swim.
I guess that's cool. We're close to being the same, isn't it? It kind of, well, that sounded less, so then it had to be more.
I don't know. It was far. It was 20 minutes at least of swimming through freezing water. And then I was like, I was going to get to that beach and sun for a bit and maybe lay down. We'll get some photos. Nope. Quick shake and then straight up 80-degree pitch up a mountainside to just out of sight. And I was like, that is triathlon right there.
Yeah. How many photos did you take this trip?
This trip total with everything?
Yeah, so 7 days in Alaska. We did, we'll get into maybe into some of the other things. We did brown bear viewing on foot on the tidal flats the first day, which was insane. We did the 8-hour boat tour with saltwater fly fishing, whales, the spires in Kenai, Fjords National Park. Just Seward, the town, beautiful Homer. How many photos did you take?
I took with some
drum roll.
Yeah. No, this is everything. This is responsibilities, deliverables, everything. I uploaded, I feel like 1,500.
Nice.
Yeah. 1,500.
Some people listening are like, that really, that's it. And some people are thinking, that's a lot. It's just interesting. I wonder what people listening in their mind, because I know they were thinking, how many would I take in that 7-day period if I was in Alaska? 1,500.
Now, if you imagine I have a cool bear moment, I'm probably rattling off 7, 8 of the same photos. So there's a lot of repeats there. I think another interesting stat is how many did I star and how many did I delete?
Ooh, what do you think your star ratio is?
Well, I starred out of that. So ones I wanted to look back at, potentially edit, and some were repeats, and I could probably star further, but I had 420 starred.
That you starred?
Yeah.
Wow, you're starring a lot.
A lot of any photo that was like, that's a good photo, or like that could be edited well, I starred.
Interesting. So, I find I'm starring about 10%.
Yeah. But that's where I said my ratio I felt like of good photos to all the ones I took was really strong this trip.
Good for you. That's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, am I going to edit every one of those? Absolutely not.
The closer you can get to starring every single photo. Yeah, I think it's important to try and work that ratio.
Yeah. Now, from that ratio,
that forces you to be deliberate, right?
Like I said, if that bear moment, so there's that bear that's standing that we got a photo of, a really nice, cool moment. Of the standing bear photos, I probably have 10 ones that I could easily edit, and they are going to look similar. So from that, I pick one that I really like. Maybe in a couple years or a year, go back and edit a different one. But so there's those moments where it's like, all right, here's a chunk of decent photos. Which is the best of those ones?
So you'll star the whole sequence and then pick your favorite of those.
As long as they're sharp and in focus and it's a good photo and I didn't cut something off or whatever, like I will star that as a good photo.
But you'll star the whole sequence.
Yeah, the other ones
is what you're saying, right?
Yep. But if it gets out of hand, like there's 20 of the same thing. Let me see if I can pull up. I'm not sure I can because my monitor's off. But from that, I also delete as I'm going too. So anything out of focus or garbage, or maybe I have 20 of basically the same photo, I might go through and be like, that's the one I love. I'm not going to edit the same one over and over because they're so close. If it's the same thing, essentially, I will pick the best one and then X out and then delete from my disk. I don't need to store 1,000 photos at 80 megapixels or megabytes and just keep them on my thing for no reason. So I will try to erase as I go as well.
Yeah, it can be hard to let go of clutter, especially when the moment's been fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, especially unique moments. Like there's a bunch of bubble feeding ones where it's like, wow, that was cool. But at the same time, in terms of a photo, it's like a mess. Like it looks messy, you know?
Yeah.
And those are,
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to decipher the difference between a cool moment and this is visually appealing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have the memory of it. Like I have the memory of the humpback lunging in front of the boat. Like that memory is kind of like a vivid movie. And maybe it gets better in my mind as I don't have a photo to remind me of what it actually was. I don't know. That's deep, but yeah, you don't need every single thing that you take.
No, you really don't. You really don't. I mean, the way I work is, so if I'm understanding correctly, you'll star a sequence that you really like and then pick the best one of those. I guess I'm looking at the whole sequence and then just starring the one.
Yeah.
But I like your method too, because it allows you to come back later, which I should do more of. I like that you do that. You'll revisit something a year or 2 years later in that same sequence, different photo, different pose.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah, you have a different kind of eye on it. You get to relive it. I should do that more often.
Maybe your style changes over the years and your new tricks. Like recently I went back to Banff and went through those, and like it's very fun to do that. I also like when you rate them and then you filter out like all the rated ones. I get in the trap of, if I have a sequence of boom, 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 let's say 10 photos of a cool bear moment. If I used to do, I think your method is when I get to the first photo that's good, I would star that and then skip ahead and move on, like move to the next sequence. Cause I'd be like, that's the good one. And I would kind of forget to check all the other ones. And a lot of times in photography, especially with landscapes, for me, I'm learning as I go. So if I'm taking a landscape photo and it's not moving in front of me, I might take it quickly or like be hasty with my settings slightly. And then I might adjust, and then I might make sure the foreground's in focus. And then like, so usually the last couple photos of a sequence are the ones where I got my shit together. And so sometimes I look at my photos from the back to the front also to see like the last of the sequence where I decided like, I'm going to stop with this photo because I got it, or I felt like I got it.
Right. Well, you and I also are not traditional landscape photographers in the sense of how a true pro would do a landscape. They would sit there, wait for perfect light on a tripod, stack everything, exposure stack everything. Yeah. On the last day, you and I were shooting together down by the river, and there were these pretty flowers, and you're like, oh, you could set it up and stack that. And I'm like, there's too many other cool things happening. I don't have time for that. So like you and I think like to shoot landscapes in a way that makes them look great, but isn't a pro like Mark Adamus or somebody like that. No. Because I just don't think it excites you and I to sit there and spend an hour on that perfect landscape shot when we can capture a whole bunch of other things in the same environment really well. Maybe not 10 out of 10, but aiming for like an 8. Yeah. You know, those shots of you flying your drone off the back of the van are some of my favorite shots I've ever taken of people of a person in an environment. And my thought process is, if I'm having to set up that perfect landscape shot, great, the photo's going to look awesome and professional, but the trade-off is I don't get to capture a lot of other things. Like maybe I missed that shot of you in the van I just described because I'm busy with filters and waiting for light and all that stuff. It's a different art form.
Yeah. Those shots were great. Thank you.
I just found that interesting. Or that conversation we had. You're like, oh, you could focus stack. And I'm like, no, I don't have time I don't want to do that. I don't have time for that. It would be great for sure. It's the professional way to do something like that, but I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Could I be honest? I tried to focus stack with those flowers and it just didn't work.
Okay. Now I feel even better.
Yeah. It was very difficult to like all in between the flowers. Maybe I was doing it wrong. Maybe the wind was moving. I don't know, but it just did not. It was, it's the cover photo of the sauna reel.
Oh,
I just went with the blurry flowers in the front, in the foreground.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Whatever. Moving on.
You know, like in that time we were down there, I'm shooting the mountain landscape that has beautiful light on it at f16 or whatever, it's pretty much all sharp.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
I'm filming stuff with the Osmo, some vertical video. I'm shooting you. Just again, that conversation of trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
And how, using the example of the 10 out of 10 landscape photo, doing all those intricate things that's required to get a 10 out of 10 landscape photo, is it worth the trade-off? Constantly thinking about trade-offs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's an instance of good enough, I guess.
We got stuck on the boat, but I do want to kind of go through the day and relive some of this stuff, especially for
talk about
people.
the bears and
so day
a mile
one
and a half walk through quicksand, pretty much.
everyone was there first, and I got in at 11 on Sunday morning. We got all situated. We made ourselves down to Homer. Had a really nice Airbnb. Relaxed tonight. We are getting up for 9:00. We're meeting our Mike. That was his name, right? Mike
Patterson.
Mike Patterson to take us across the bay to see some bears. We don't know exactly where he's going at this point. So we wake up, we get all our stuff, we get our morning coffee, our sandwiches, get to the boat. They tractor us down in low tide through the beach. So we're on the boat while it's being tractored down and thrown into the water. And we go about 2 hours across, and he's starting to stop the boat around, I would say, a mile from shore, give or take, because of low tide. We're in about 3 feet of water. And it turns out we have to jump off the boat and wade the rest of the way in. And he has waders for us. We all brought our muck boots. We thought it was going to be...
I thought we were going to get beached on shore.
Yeah. So
and have muck boots to walk through the muddy tidal flats. Nope.
We're jumping off with all our gear, thousands of dollars of gear for everyone. On a step ladder into, for me, waist high water. For everyone else, probably chest high water. Matt Patterson's carrying a rental 600 prime lens from Nikon.
Like what? Retail $16,000?
Retail my car. Like insane carrying that. And we're waiting. Not straight to the beach. We go left to the bears, which is, I would say, a mile to a mile and a half walk through waist high water and mud, which was difficult to say the least.
Sink with every step, yeah.
Yep. San, I'm glad he made it with us. Got a little bit stuck. He lost a boot.
It's the second person I've saved on a trip.
Seth,
great advertising for.
Mm-hmm. But he got through it. He survived.
Let me talk about that. The funny thing is his foot got stuck in the mud and he couldn't get it out. And you guys are getting further and further away from us because you continued walking. I don't know why Mike didn't stop and turn around. One of his patrons is stuck in mud.
Really stuck. Like stuck.
I'm holding his lens, which is also a rental. And he's pulling on me to help get his foot out. And I'm thinking, let's not both of us go down here. Right? Yeah. Your camera gear, my shit in my bag.
Yeah.
This is not good. Finally gets his foot out, but not the boot. The boot is still stuck in the muck. And San, being the lovely guy that he is, just the nicest person, reaches back down to get the boot. I'm like, dude, fuck the boot. Leave it. It's a $40 boot. Like, who cares? He comes up with the boot because it's I guess it's Mike's boot, right? They have tons of different boots on the boat for people to wear. Comes up with the boot, and I'm like, geez, okay. And so he walks with one shoe and one not barefoot, but one foot in the wader the whole way, holding the boot while I have his camera gear. And I was like, man, that's craziness. I would have left that boot, San, but you're not me and you're extremely nice.
Yeah, that was a close one. That was a close one.
Well, and so then he has a shoe and a foot, which puts you totally off balance, and now you lack the surface area on the foot. Right.
Yeah,
so now
you're sinking in.
Your foot sinks in more than the boot, which has more surface area. So he's holding me the whole walk while I have his gear because his foot keeps getting sucked in. That was for like at least a mile, half a mile. I'm like, oh God, let's not go in the drink here. But we made it. Stressful. But it made getting to shore worth it. And I let you continue.
Yeah. It was touch and go.
One more thing I'll say too.
Got there.
During this, like, he's maybe stressing a little. I don't know. I'm not him, but I'm looking at you. I'm like, Aaron, come, like, slow down the group or come back. And you're laughing like, oh, this is amazing. So fun. And I'm like, this guy. This guy doesn't know our struggle right now.
No, you got to have comedy in all situations.
Yeah. I just look at you. I'm like, this isn't good right now.
I could tell you guys it wasn't good, but you were fine. You were going to get through it. And
once he got his foot out, it was good.
Of course, I filmed it. And
yeah,
we'll have it as keepsake for myself.
Yeah. Stan, you made it through, buddy. Good for you.
Good job, bud. So we get to shore finally, or some almost dry land, and we're just surrounded by, again, exhausted. You're tired, and then you look around and you're like, there's 10 bears around us digging for clams. We're getting our way to this mama bear, this big mama bear that has 2 cubs, digging away, and we're just in between. We're in like the middle of a circle where there's bears everywhere.
On all fronts.
And it felt super safe having a guide, doing research. It was just incredible to sit there and watch some interactions. There was a little bit of testiness between a couple bears, some running, some standing, some noises that got the heart rate going. It was unbelievable. And in that moment, you get, I don't know how many hours we spent out there on the flats, maybe 1. Yeah, but we kind of switched it up. So maybe an hour and a half we were out on the flats, on the tidal flats.
Maybe 2.
Maybe just time flew. I don't know.
You kind of black out.
Yeah, but just so many photos of bears. I have photos of bears for forever, and it's just.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even go as far as to say I have so many. But again, back to that theme at the start of the episode here, I have enough that I'm satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple really great ones that I'm excited about. I think in my earlier wildlife photography days, my approach was, here's a bear, click, because I don't have any photographs of bears.
Right.
But now I'm in a fortunate enough position, just with a couple of years more experience and a better portfolio, that I'm not looking for, here's a bear. I'm looking for, here's a bear doing something interesting and hesitating to click the shutter. For example, also, there was a couple times where we saw harbor seals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one picture of a harbor seal this trip.
Yeah.
Because last year we got a photo of a harbor seal peeking out behind a little piece of floating ice, which was one of my favorite shots. And I didn't really see anything that met that same level of interest to my eye. The photos that I saw the photo opportunities that I saw were just harbor seals just in water.
Right.
And the thought is, I have that.
Yeah.
I have that. So I don't need to fill more card with that, because I know that I'm not going to do anything with those. But had that been what I just described, had that been the first time I had ever seen a harbor seal, you better know I'd be clicking away.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I get, if it's your first time seeing a bear, you're shooting a ton. Why wouldn't you?
There's a lot of just scenic moments. The lighting was nice. It's cool. Yeah,
the other thing I found too was we're so close to the action, and we all have, lenses capable of 500 mil, 600 mil. So great opportunity to get in tight, get some real good detail, fill a frame, and you can get potentially so sucked in to shooting that the whole time that I had to consciously remind myself a couple times, hey, zoom all the way out.
Yeah.
Zoom all the way out and get the landscape. Because you can, I had this thought process a couple times where it's like, hey, you may never be this close to brown bears again. Who knows? Just fill the frame, get all that detail. And it can be hard to say, I'm not going to utilize my full focal length and I'm going to zoom all the way out.
Right.
Just something I kept in mind. We talk about that zoom out, medium, and then zoomed in approach to get a good portfolio. I was reminding myself of that. So,
yeah. So that rounded out that experience. The tide came in, so we had a very short walk, wade back to the boat, got back. We're driving back. Yeah, just at that point, everyone's happy. You took a little nap.
I fell asleep on the boat, and I woke up to a radio call that there was a boat on fire.
Yeah, a charter boat, 7 people in the water, boat on fire, rescue in motion.
Jeez.
So we heard that, and we're like, whew. And that's the start. Well, San actually, I think, was the start of us escaping death on this trip.
A couple times.
Yeah, a couple weird moments.
We weren't the boat on fire either, which was great.
Yeah.
So I'm sure those people got out all right. They were in the water, right? Could you imagine though if that's us with all your camera gear?
No, I don't want to.
That's terrible.
Terrible.
So,
hopefully everyone's all right. I think they were based on the phone calls they were making. Yeah, Mike was awesome. Alaska Bear Viewing Company. It was great. It was a good experience. I wish we knew we had to wade so much. That could have been dicey.
I can't believe that wasn't brought up. I mean, what if we were 80 years old?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I can't believe that we didn't know that.
Yeah.
The other thing I found interesting, and maybe my more vetted Alaska people can help me figure this one out, but I always assumed that bear guides carried shotguns. I know that these bears are very used to people, and at no point did we ever feel in danger, but they are wild animals. You never know. A statistical anomaly could happen. Shouldn't you have that last line of defense?
Yeah.
Beyond spray and bear bangers? I don't know. That's just, I don't know. That's my thought process. When I was in at Nanook in northern Manitoba, there was 2 guides, each with a gun, front and back of the line. I mean, those are polar bears, but.
Yeah. I don't know. But
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I also didn't understand why, and somebody can probably enlighten me as well, why the boat wasn't beached, especially since tide was out. Because when we finished, tide would come in, and wouldn't that bring the boat up? So for our dismount, why not just beach the boat? Maybe it would get stuck in the muck, and the tide wouldn't be enough to pull it out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was our question, because I felt like we could have gone in a good amount more. But
so I'm sure I don't know better than a seasoned captain.
Yeah, that's me
being genuine. I'm not being
a lot of good thoughts. Huh. Yeah, those guys were awesome. They were excited.
Awesome. Either way, I was not understanding fully. But I don't run trips every day.
Alaskan folk talking about fishing and what he caught, and it was fun. It was fun to just be a part of that for sure.
Yeah, so Sam got pulled out of the muck.
Yeah,
dodged a boat on fire, and then we're in Seward.
Homer one more night, got up, went to Seward. It's a Wednesday. Is that when we drove? Was it Wednesday? So
it was a rainy day.
Oh, it's Tuesday.
This is the rainy day you're talking about. At the start, you said we're getting that was crazy. Okay, now I know where you're going. All right.
Well, we got to Seward Tuesday. We made a few stops. We stopped at the Russian River. We did a big hike. There was a bear in the area. We missed it.
Attacked by mosquitoes. So
attacked by bugs. Seth took one for the team. They just swarmed him for some reason. It was interesting. I was at the
front of the line. I'm convinced.
They liked him. But yeah, that was a nice, pretty hike. We have some video footage of that. There was a bear in the area, but we did not see him or her. And I think we saw that bear later on. That's the one that was near the river.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was doing his rounds. But yeah, so we get to Seward, an awesome sea town. I think we had dinner that night and just kind of relaxed. The next day was supposed to be kind of a rain out. We decided to go to the Marine Sea Life Center in Seward. At that point in the trip, in a couple of days, everyone's like, have you done this? Have you done this? So you can feed sea otters sometimes. It's a rehab center. It's a really nice place. So we're like, all right, it's raining out. A bunch of our group seemed interested in doing it. So we added that to the trip. We're in there. We're walking around. See puffins up close. That was pretty cool. See them swim underwater. That was really cool. Just to see their flight patterns underwater. Amazing. That was a highlight for me, obviously. We're sitting there getting ready to go. Our group is a little dismembered here. Seth and I are in the lobby. People are still kind of walking around. There's about, I'm going to guess, 300 people in this center at the same time. Everyone's phone, like an Amber Alert, everyone's emergency alert, there it is, goes off in sync all at the same time. And that's startling on its own. What the message said, and I'll read it verbatim.
Oh, you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. I took a screenshot of it somewhere. Is essentially, I just want to read it straight up. If I could find it. The suspense, I know, everyone. I know. Here it is. Emergency alert. The National Weather Service has issued a tsunami warning in capital letters. A series of powerful waves and strong currents may impact coasts near you. You are in danger. Get away from the coastal waters. Move to high ground or inland now. Keep away from the coast until local officials say it's safe to return. We are on the coast.
Couldn't get any closer to the water.
We are a stone throw from the coast with this alarm going off. Now I will imitate the employee at the Sea Life Center talking to hundreds of people. Everybody listen up! You need to go now. Do not run, but walk to higher ground. Do not get in your cars. Go now.
Just like that.
Just like that. And wow, the panic that ensued of everyone. I will say the crowd stayed calm, but
Luckily,
Seth said it.
She is
We're
lucky
funneling
that
glass doors.
She is lucky that did not cause a stampede. I will say that.
Yeah.
Because the way you and I have never been in a tsunami warning. Okay? The way it was vocalized like that gave the impression of, hey, this could happen in the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We don't know. We're not. We later found out that there was an earthquake 180 miles offshore. Big one, 7.3 magnitude. And based on where it was, our arrival time, the arrival time of any waves in Seward would have been 3-4 hours later. But you and I didn't know that at the time. And the way that it was vocalized was, it gave the impression of you could get swept away in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is an emergency right now.
I cannot believe that there was not, and who knows how many tourists from locations that aren't prone to tsunami warnings, who knows how many of those kinds of people were in there. Very lucky that there was not a stampede that killed people heading out of doors. I will say that. I am amazed. All it would have taken was 2 people to run to create a herd mentality. Mm-hmm. And that would have been very dangerous. Just saying. That was crazy.
Yeah. So Seth and I are moving quickly. We're in the lobby. We're texting our group. Hey, get out. Let's meet at the car. It's all like one word text, very efficient. Like we're meeting up the hill. We happen to park up the hill.
Yeah, you and I we're not walking. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. But then you're second guessing, like, is this a bad idea to get in a car? She said, don't get in a car. But we're like, we're already up the hill. Let's just get out of here. Let's get out of here. There was an evacuation going on There was traffic. There were people leaving.
Traffic wasn't even that bad though.
Again, not knowing what this was very scary in that moment. We are right on the shore.
I started feeling better when I saw, cars and Alaskan pickup trucks going into town. Mm-hmm. My mind is thinking these are locals.
Yeah. And talking to our hosts, our great hosts, Heather and Tim, and Matt up there at Oz Lodge, they put us to ease. They were like, no, we're
170 feet above sea level at our Airbnb.
We got a mountain behind us. We're absolutely fine. This happens once a summer. We're good.
Yeah.
And kind of reassured us where everything was, but we were scared for a bit. We were in our cabin. Everyone was like scary. Watching the news, just trying to figure out what's going to happen.
It ended up being national news, right?
Yeah, I think so. It was on my Instagram feed, but I do like Alaska stuff, so maybe that's why. But yeah, so that was a scary moment, but one that we will remember. We survived the tsunami. 2025.
We'd still be walking if we had walked and not driven
back home. Oh boy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that. I get it's probably protocol there in the training, but the tone she very lucky that there was not people running through doors. I don't think that was the right way to handle it personally.
No, probably not. And maybe she got the warning before any news too, and you don't know. And there's panic there. And I think if it is close, if you don't know in the moment, you have minutes probably. So urgency is probably key without information.
Sure. I guess there's not enough time to look up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And how late is that warning from when the thing actually happened also? Is it 2 minutes later? Is it immediate?
So I guess you have to assume that it's within the next
10 seconds. You could.
Yeah, right.
So I get
I guess my analysis could be unfair and that it's based on a lot of hindsight, which I am aware of.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm just surprised nobody trampled.
Yeah, people probably... Yeah, we stayed calm. That was impressive. Good job, humans.
And all it takes is one or two to run.
Yeah.
It's all it takes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should run. I'm not, it's chain reaction.
Absolutely.
So yeah, good job, humans.
Good job. Nice work.
Yes, we dodged a tsunami. That was great.
Yeah, some great food. We don't need to get into that. But now we're up to our boat ride. We went over that. It was incredible. And then we sent the kids home on the scenic train. They had the scenic train ride home to Anchorage, caught up with them the next day. Seth and I stayed behind, did some photography work for some of the things we had to do. I ended up shooting and packing. I mean, we got to bed at midnight with a 4 a.m. wake-up call. We just couldn't. I think we enjoyed that river night and like the lighting and just.
Well, I said to you, what's the difference if we're going to be tired whether we get 5 or 4 hours sleep?
Mm-hmm. And I spun it as this will help us with our time change.
Good rationalization that probably wasn't true, but
let's get up at 4, stay up all day, and then hopefully sleep on the red eye home. That didn't help. That didn't work too well.
I slept the entire way home.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. I slept all the way from, mind you, it was crappy sleep, where you're kind of like in and out. My Garmin said I got 4 hours on a 6.5 hour flight from Anchorage to Chicago, and then got myself a nice Great American Bagel. Is that what the company's called?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Digestion set in, and I just passed out from Chicago to Toronto.
Yeah.
So it was great. And then I slept for 11 hours that night. And then the next night was 10 hours. And then last night was 9 hours. So I'm catching up.
You're catching up. Yeah. I saw my body battery hit 95 yesterday. And I was like,
flying.
I'm back.
Garmin says you're rocking and rolling.
Golfing and everything.
The other thing I'll say is I recall I've done this before, and you and I have done this on trips together where we'll try and include work for a brand. And you and I have made the mistake at times of doing too much, where we've taken like 3 different projects.
Yeah.
I think a good rule of thumb, at least for me, is if you're traveling or going on a trip and you're wanting to introduce brand work for your trip, do one per person involved in the trip. So like you organized doing work for Oz Lodge, and then I organized Tamron, and it was manageable on top of our primary responsibility, which was putting on a good trip for participants.
Yeah.
In the past, you and I have tried to do 2 or 3 or 3 or 4, and it's just been insanity. And it feels like it's going to fall off. So I liked doing, we averaged 1 per trip leader. I don't think if I was going solo, I would pick more than 1 at this point, just because it takes away.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. We had a nice setup where we had time at the end where we didn't have, paying guests, to be honest. And we could have some time to shelf that stuff for those moments.
Right.
Was getting little stuff as we went, but shelf the bulk of it for that moment where we're not taking away from the trip in that sense. And that made it very doable, very easy. I agree. It's not fun feeling like you have homework in a sense when you're trying to enjoy a trip and be responsible for other people's good times.
Yeah. Just a little bit of homework.
Yeah. A little bit of homework's not bad.
No.
That's kind of fun if you can fit it in.
Yeah, and I think it is a good idea too, especially if you're in a beautiful place like Alaska that a brand or a company would be happy to have you market their service or product in. What an opportunity, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So utilize that if that's your fancy, right? Yeah. Just don't go overboard.
Yep.
Which I'm speaking to my past self.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm shooting apparel, I'm shooting a lens, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Why am I here?
Yeah. Right? Am I just a hired gun?
Yeah, exactly. I think you can forget to enjoy yourself when you have too many responsibilities.
Yeah.
At least that's just me.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways? What else do you think?
I just love, for the photographers who are out there that haven't gone to Alaska, I just absolutely love the trip. I love this setup. I love Anchorage to Seward to Homer, vice versa, whatever it may be. The amount of daylight you have in each day. If you are a go-getter, you can get so much done. And just the vastness of the scenery, the food, the people, like there's something alluring about that state. I think it does steal a bunch of mainlanders that love the outdoors, that love nature, that love sort of space and room. There's a lot of space, even in the city or big towns. Like you feel like you're not blocked in. There's space all around you where you can go hike or be alone if that's important to you. There's opportunities for tons of wildlife interactions. You're not landlocked. You have the ocean right there. You got a lot of different opportunities to see a lot of different things. It is expensive. I mean, to see some of the stuff up close for sure. But it should be on every photographer's bucket list, especially if you're wildlife and nature, to get out there. It's just there's not many places I think after going last year, I would be like, let's do that again. Like,
right.
There's so many places in the world and we chose to do that again. I think that's telling as having 2 repeat guests that are saying like, let's do that again.
Right.
Right. And our group was awesome. Matt and Karen were there last year. Sand finally made a trip. He's been trying for 3 years to get on a trip. He's made a trip. It was, after weeks of travel for him, he was a trooper. And Meg was new. And I think by what she's writing in the group, like it was a trip she definitely needed and absolutely loved her time there. And I'm excited to see all their photos and their pictures. And I remember from last year, you just sort of kind of relive this for the next couple months. Our text group will keep going and keep joking and keep talking. And it is kind of nice when you step away and as leaders of a group, when it goes well, everyone's safe, everyone had a good time, everyone got home safe, everyone experienced the things that we love and
Or they had hoped to. They have
that
good
they hoped
photos.
to. We had all these moments. We had maybe the most incredible sunset I've ever seen on the first night driving to Homer.
I think I said that to you. I think I said that's one of the best sunsets I've ever seen.
Yeah. Minus dodging 17,000 moose.
Oh my God.
Seth.
I was playing, I was
moose slalom on the way to Homer
along the roads.
And I was on 48 hours of being awake and like passing out, like could not stay awake in the passenger seat and would just hear moose. And I'd be like, oh,
panic startled him awake. Yeah.
Yeah.
That just freaks me out, man. I don't like the idea of driving at night in moose country.
No.
That's not it.
No.
But like we had to get there. So,
but to conclude, just an awesome place. It's hard to compete, I think, with that in terms of a photo trip. Like in the last couple of days, like, where are we going to go next year? I rattle that around my head, and it's just hard to compete. It just is. It's hard to compete with that trip, I think.
We have some ideas.
We have ideas. I don't think we're going to do Alaska a third year in a row, but I know we'll be back.
Yeah, I don't think 3 years in a row. I agree. But
we will be back for sure.
I think the other interesting thing, just to add on to what you're saying, is I sometimes feel this way. I don't know if other people do, that photography can be kind of isolating. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a practice that many people understand or participate in or even really get, the common everyday people. So you can kind of feel like Instagram and things like that help digitally, but there's nothing that compares to being with a group of like-minded people who are as excited and interested and get the struggles and understand the difficulty and see the amazement in a particular moment. Nothing really competes with that. And I think that's part of the allure of any photo trip you can go on, not even just ours, whatever, is that there's that underlying sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
When you go through a difficult moment or something incredible happens, and there's this unspoken bond that says, hey, I understand you and you understand me, and we're equally as excited about this thing. And that's difficult to get when you're not, when you're just kind of on your own.
Definitely. That's well thought out and said. I agree. Or even worse than on your own is with someone that doesn't get it. Like, sure. I'm sure a lot of us have gone on trips with friends that aren't into photography, and you're at this place and you're like, you feel guilty stopping at a moose on the side of the road for 30 minutes because it's awesome and there's awesome light. And you're like, this guy, we're supposed to be getting dinner right now. Like, it's nice when we're all on the same page of like, we want photos. We know when we want to relax. We know when we're a little burnt out. We can kind of feel that because we do have the same intention of seeing great moments. If anything's the struggle, I think it's knowing how hard we can push ourselves and maybe equating that to other people and feeling like downtime is time missing or people are upset that we have downtime. And I think we've gotten better at learning that downtime's okay and that we need it also.
Sure.
And allowing the trip to flow and allowing the trip to have some space where we can take a day to say, hey, like, we're getting the vibe that we're exhausted. We have a big day tomorrow. Let's slow down. What do you guys want to do? Versus spoon feeding the whole time of things. And
thinking that what we want is what everyone wants.
Yeah, or that seeing more is more valuable, or seeing everything is getting your money's worth. Rest sometimes is getting your money's worth, and being sharp. And we get shot. Like last year it was Seth's wallet gate. This year it was my AirPod Maxes that were in my backpack.
When you're so tired.
You're so tired, and I could not find them when we're about to leave. And then I go to find my phone app, and my AirPod Maxes were seen last time 5 hours away in Homer. And just your brain goes into like, damn it. Like I emailed the Airbnb and asked if they found them. We're flying. I'm going through every suitcase thing. I'm like, oh, maybe it's in my shoe compartment in my suitcase. Look there. It's not there. We finally get there, and they're in my backpack, like just there where I put them a long time ago. And you're like, God, like I'm losing it at this point. I'm tired. And then we were saying like there's so many moments in that 4 a.m., that midnight to 4 a.m. wake up, to Anchorage, to switching cars, to picking people up, luggage, where it's like the whole time we're like, I think we forgot something. We forgot something.
I hate that feeling that you're forgetting.
I'm like, I think it's because we're changing.
Usually right. That feeling is usually right for me.
Yeah. And we still might find out that we lost something, but
I lost one thing, a charger adapter, but it was like $20. So I feel better about it.
Yeah.
Because I know what it is.
I found my AirPod Maxes. And Seth was like, oh, those big ones? I thought you meant the little guys. I'm like, no, that's why I was kind of freaking out.
I didn't know AirPod Maxes were actually giant headphones. I thought they were just a better version of the AirPods, which then you enlightened me to the fact that AirPod Pros are what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm technologically ignorant. The one thing I will say too about, I think you were talking about when you're traveling with somebody who like isn't a photographer, I think you can have, I'm speaking from experience because I travel with Haley all the time and she doesn't pick up a camera ever and is incredibly patient with me, wanting to stop at some dinky little bird for half an hour and is able to just kind of look around and enjoy it. Maybe in her head she wants to get going sometimes, but maybe not. But I guess what I'm trying to say is find a travel person, whether that's your significant other or a friend, who may not be into photography, but that is incredibly patient and that also is close to or equally as excited to see some of the things that you are, but just is fine taking it in with their eyeballs. I remember traveling, in the winter in Jasper with Haley, and we turned the corner and there was this moose and calf, and we ended up sitting there for, God, it had to have been an hour and a half because the sun was down and then the sun came up. For an hour and a half, I'm snapping away and she's just enjoying it. Which there's something so pure about that.
Yeah.
Back to our conversation about watching the orcas. But I guess I'm just building off your point that if you're going to go with somebody who isn't exactly like you are in the sense of a photographer or as a videographer, find someone with great patience and who just has a natural love for the outdoors or travel, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Someone that appreciates it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a great trip.
It was really good.
Yeah. Thanks for helping out and being around.
Yeah.
And vice versa, I'm sure.
Yeah. How's your lumbar? How's your back?
You know what? Not bad. I golfed yesterday, so that's a good sign.
Good. A lot of sitting at times, driving planes.
That's my theory. Yeah. It's hard to get work. It's tricky. It's sneaky. On travel like that, you assume you must be doing extra steps and you're working hard and you're hiking mountains and all that. Yeah, in spots, but the other spots are a lot of sitting and traveling, sitting for long periods of time, even on a boat, sitting a lot. We did how many hours of boat rides? 6 plus. No, that was more than that. So it was 6 to 12. We got back at it. That was a long boat ride. 6 to 12 to then we got home at around 3. It was a 9-hour boat ride. We had 2 hours, 13 hours of sitting on a boat or being on a boat. Yeah. Like that stuff adds up. So yeah, it's important to, I don't know, get some isometrics in, stretch a bunch, get some walks going, walk around.
Yeah.
On trips like that. But yeah, I'm
and
feeling
shout
good.
out to Matt, huh?
Dude.
Matt is, how old is he?
The Billy Goat.
Is he 60?
I think mid 60s. I don't know for sure. I'm just guessing.
He was 60 flat, or maybe he's in his late 50s. I don't know. Fitness level of a 25-year-old.
Cooking up that Mount Alice. That was
yeah, he's a mountain goat.
What did we do for elevation? We didn't do the whole 3,000 because it was super foggy and rainy. I think we did about 2, and he had no problem.
Light years
going.
So no excuses.
Full conversations with strangers.
Incredible fitness.
Yeah, it was a good time. All
right, man. I'm excited for the next one with you. Hopefully, I want to be able to do 2 next year, one in the spring and one in the summer. So we'll see.
How did we not tell the story? We have one more story.
Which one is that?
The prison.
Oh, we got to tell this one. I almost got deported. I could have easily been deported on day 4.
Was it day? Yeah, it was day 3.
I picked an arbitrary number. It doesn't matter.
I think it was day 3. The first night we were in Seward, Seth, I, and San wanted to go do some drone stuff. We had our drones. So it's late. Everyone's getting to bed. But again, it's daylight. We thought there might be a great sunset again. We go out a place that Seth and I went last time, but there's some mountains behind us. So I was looking at
you. I'm like, I want to fly my drone and point it at that.
Yeah.
Kind of glacial or mountain inlet there. It would be really pretty. Can we get close to it to take off?
So we look at Google Maps. We see this road that comes down close to it, and it says on it something.
It says athletic field. Athletic field. Yes.
So we're like, oh, it's a baseball field. It looks like a complex.
Sweet.
So we drive in there down this solitary road. There's one entrance that says like there's a gate there.
It says warehouse or shipping. It's a Y.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of pickup trucks in this lot. And I was like, is there a game going on? What's going on? There's also a control tower that looks like
a church or a control tower. Yeah, it was weird.
Broadcast tower. I don't know. I'm like, maybe this is like minor league baseball. I have no idea. So we are coming in here and everything's up on a hill. So the parking lot's lower. There's 100 cars and campers and RVs and pickup trucks. No one's in them. It was just a weird, quiet feeling. No lights are on in this complex. It's late, by the way. It's probably 11 p.m. So we pull up right to this hill. Everything's above us. San goes to just turn on the drone to check things, and it says restricted area, do not fly here. Mm-hmm. So we're like, we can't fly here. Okay.
We're like, are we close to the airport?
And I'm like, maybe that's a control tower. Like, this is weird. So I get out of the car while they're talking, kind of my own volition here. I'm holding a 600 millimeter lens and my camera, this big bazooka looking thing. And I run up this hill to get to the top, and I freeze, and I see a fence with multiple strands, big strands of very sharp barbed wire right there. And I'm like, this is weird. So it then hits me. I'm like, this looks like a prison. And I came back with an inquisitive tone. I'm like, it's weird up there. It's like a prison. So Seth zooms into the Google map and what's it called?
So I zoomed in so Google Maps, you got to figure your shit out, okay? So when you're zoomed out on the map, it says athletic field.
Mm-hmm.
And then you zoom in a little more and it says Spring Creek Correctional Center.
Yeah.
You would think that Spring Creek Correctional Center would come before athletic field.
Nope.
So this was Spring Creek Correctional Center, which is a maximum security prison for men located in Seward, Alaska.
Yeah.
Let me read this.
Yeah, read it.
A large portion of the prisoner population consists of, quote, hardcore felons who committed violent crimes such as murder. The Alaska Department, DOC, I assume that's Department of Corrections, says that these prisoners, quote, will probably spend the rest of their life in prison. Jeez.
And I'm running up to this prison with us firing up drones and a 600 millimeter lens. And Seth starts reading that, and we couldn't get out of there fast enough. We flew out of there. So,
notable inmates: Robert Hansen, a serial killer convicted of killing numerous women in or near Anchorage, Alaska.
Jeez.
Evan Ramsey, perpetrator of the Bethel Regional High School shooting in Bethel, Alaska. Like, these are some hardcore people that are in there, man. The fact that you ran up there with a 600 millimeter is hilarious. Could you imagine? I don't know if the drones would have ever taken off, but if sand hadn't checked and we just flew anyways or whatever, could you imagine?
The problem?
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't even want to know what would happen.
In a white unmarked van.
Yeah.
That's what we're driving.
Van, like a cargo.
We're launching 3 drones and camo gear and 600 millimeter lens and sprinting up to the prison to look at it.
God.
Not good. Do your research, folks.
Do your research. Google Maps have the correctional facility display before the baseball field that is within the correctional facility.
Yeah, how many families are going to play catch at the correctional facility based on the wrong titling? Come on.
God.
Anywho, that's that. That wraps up our Alaska trip.
Could have been bad.
Prisons, tsunamis, boats on fire, moose slalom. Stuck in the mud. Exciting times.
I'm excited for a different one next year.
Something safer like Nebraska.
Well, you're making it sound like this was in
I'm just kidding.
It's just corn forever.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was great. We all survived. Winning.
All right, buddy. Till next time.
See ya.